Ladies and gentlemen, the session is about to start. Please take your seat.
Buongiorno a tutti. Good morning, everybody. Bonjour francophone. C'est pas facile, hein? Mais heureusement, il y a... Welcome, dear friends from the Western Balkans. The link between Italy and your countries is very strong. Italy is strongly engaged for supporting the partnership with Slovenia and Croatia, full member of the European Union, but we want to work hard for the full membership of the other countries candidate in this moment. We want to accelerate the timing because it's important the reunification of our European Union. And now allow me to talk in my mother tongue, in Italian. L'Italia è tornata ad essere protagonista nei
Italy
Balcani.
is once again playing a key role in the Balkans because we deem it fundamental to unify, reunify the EU. I don't like talking about the enlargement of EU. Reunification is a choice that the Balkans and we have made because these countries have been prevented from being part of the European Union. They are all European countries. The history is European. They all want to be European. But as you know, dictatorships prevent citizens from making choices. Slovenia and Croatia have been part of our union for a very long time. We have established bilateral and trilateral relations in order to reinforce our links with neighboring countries. But Italy is committed to accelerating to enabling the other countries to join the EU. And in that part of Europe, Italy has been playing a key role, and I would like to thank our armed forces for keeping peace and stability between Serbia and Kosovo. I would like to thank our armed forces in Bosnia-Herzegovina, Albania, Guardia di Finanza, and Montenegro, again with the Guardia di Finanza. They are peacekeepers who contribute to building new path of integration within the European Union. President Michel said that 2030 is a good date for joining the EU, but I think that we should achieve that goal even earlier. I have traveled around all of your countries in order to show you that Italy is really interested in all of this. And we are interested not only from a political perspective, but also from a strategic perspective and an economic perspective. We have launched several business forums in Italy and in the Balkans, and we have created an organization for the Friends of Western Balkans, and we have periodical meetings. The next one will be in Rome, and I will be inviting the new High Representative, Mrs. Maja Kallas, and the Slovenian Commissioner for the Enlargement in order to reach an agreement on a strategy whereby to enable the Balkans to become an integral part of the EU. We will do our best and we will share our know-how with our interlocutors, and we have deep interest in exchanging know-how with the Balkans. We want the Balkan companies to operate within Italy, and we should not give up our space in the Balkans. Europeans should be the ones to work in order to provide concrete answers to countries who want to be part of the European Union. That is what we have been doing with regards to the stability of this region. Of course, there's still tensions in the area, but it is our duty to work towards peace and stability. The Balkans are near the Adriatic Sea, therefore they are close to Italy. We have been able to intensify exchanges between our own ports and ports in the Western Balkans because we want there to be integration. We want to increase the number of Italian tourists in the Western Balkans, but we also want to attract tourists from the Western Balkans to Italy. A good meeting was held in Slovenia a few weeks ago between the various ministers. We reached various agreements. We subscribed documents, just like we did with other countries from the Western Balkans. And there's problems to be solved having to do with driving licenses, but there's a series of concrete problems that need solving, and we want to solve them as soon as possible. The Western Balkans deserve a lot of attention. They are to be harbingers of peace in the Mediterranean Sea. All of these countries overlook the Adriatic Sea, which is part of the Mediterranean. Your participation in the Med dialogues is very important because we want to involve you in all peace operations, in all peace initiatives, and in all the discussions we have with our African and Middle Eastern friends who also belong to the Mediterranean family. And we want the Mediterranean no longer to be a place of death. We don't want it to be a graveyard of migrants. We want it to be a place of exchange, a place of trade, a place of wealth, a place of peace. That is the spirit whereby we have been working in the Balkan area. It is my opinion that all of these countries are satisfied with our work. We are part of the quartet, and we always work with a view to solve any controversy. We have also played a key role in supporting negotiations with Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I would like to thank all of you for the work you have been doing in the last few years. And we have achieved some very great goals. We have made strides, and we have brought about benefits for our companies and your companies and enterprises. Where trade is, war is not. And we need to keep fighting against illegal immigration, the smuggling of drugs and the smuggling of weapons. And we can only do that if we collaborate, if we work together. So when it comes to the protection of external borders, we have made some important decisions regarding a new model. We have decided to organize mixed patrols, including Slovenian, Croatian, and Italian armed forces, in order to assess how to properly protect the external borders of the European Union. So we have shared interests, we share histories, and Venice has played a key role in the Balkans. We have Slovenian communities in Italy, we have Croatian communities in Italy, we have Albanian communities in Italy. So our stories and histories have been intermingling for a long time. When I was the president of the Italian Parliament, I inaugurated a very important facility in Montenegro, and it's a grid that reaches Italy. So we share a lot of history, and we want this community, this identity, to be put at the service of peace and growth. But I also believe that this collaboration would enable us to interact with other countries in the Mediterranean area. So thank you for accepting our invitation. I hope this will be the first of a long series of participations on the part of Western Balkans in events of this kind, together with Croatia and Slovenia. Hopefully you will remain a part of these dialogues, because the more we work towards peace and stability, the better we will achieve shared results. Thank you and enjoy the proceedings.
Grazie, grazie al Presidente Tajani.
Thank you, Honorable Tajani, for your speech and thank you for opening this panel devoted to security and the role of Western Balkan. As you can imagine, dear ministers and dear colleagues, we have a tight schedule today, and this is why I'd like to give the floor to the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Albania, Igli Hassani.
Oh, thank you. Let me start by thanking the Italian Foreign Ministry, Minister Tajani, colleagues, and of course ISPI for organizing such an important event. We are living continuously in interesting times. Every time we speak, every time we meet, we speak about the interesting times we're living, and these interesting times seem to be endless. But what is important is that without cooperation, without engagement, without the need to discuss and sit together, I think many of the things would have been completely different. I have a personal difficulty when it comes to be branded as somebody from the Western Balkans. I've never been to the Mountain Balkans myself, and I'm pretty sure that some of the colleagues wouldn't have been either. We are people from Southeastern Europe, we are people from Southern Europe, we are probably from the North Mediterranean, but we're people that belong to the same set of culture and set of understandings. And it's so good, it's so important to see that sitting together with colleagues from the region has been a dynamic that has been changing continuously for the good. Who would have thought foreign ministers from our region would have sit in this format and discuss these topics 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago in this positive spirit? Who would have thought that we could have been engaged in this way 25, 30 years ago? Who would have thought that we could have created such networks of cooperation, connectivity, and movement of goods, people, and initiatives in this way of collaboration? Who would have thought that all the difficulties of our past continue to be present, have not disappeared, but are a matter of discussion? And positions are those of not only friendship, but also common understanding. It's important to continue this dynamic, and it's important to continue to look at what is happening. It's important to see the good synergy that we, the people from Southeastern Europe, Western Balkans, or whatever somebody would like to brand us, are trying to do. We are societies that are thriving to become members of the European Union, but not by certain privileges, no, but by a normal way of going back to a family to which we belong. I enjoyed very much what Minister Tajani said. It's not about enlargement. It's about reunification with a family that we lost by the way history treated us. Albania has had 555 years of difficulties and being away from the European family. But we have never stopped dreaming to become members of that family, and I think we are very close towards that aim. And that aim is not only for us in Albania. I think it's for all of us in our small region, a region that everybody says has produced more history than it can develop. But it's important that all our synergies are towards one direction. And that direction is the direction of living and working together in the big European family. I am really looking forward to engage and look at the opportunities of work with the new European Commission. We are so happy that the Commission has put such an emphasis on absorbing us in the Western Balkans to the European family. But I'm also very happy to see that there are also supporting mechanisms that are bringing us closer and closer. And one of these mechanisms is the group of friends of the Western Balkans. Italy, Austria, Greece, Slovenia, Slovakia, and others are belonging to this initiative and are helping us progress and move forward towards our unifying goal. With Erwin, with Dino, with other colleagues, we discussed several times and in many similar formats what we can do more. But what is important is also these kinds of discussions, these kinds of engagement, these kinds of perspectives that we put all together. Because we're living in difficult times when multilateralism is suffering, when we don't see any more facts from the same angle or different angles, we see from opposing angles, and there are forces of trying to create different perspectives. There is a clash of democracies versus democrators, and I think we should continue to strive on consolidating our democracies, consolidating our network of democracies, and consolidating our future based on the realities that we are trying to achieve. I'll stop here. I don't want to be longer because many of the colleagues have much more to say and wiser things than mine. But again, many thanks for this opportunity. I'm happy to see this engagement.
Grazie Ministro. Lasciati dire che hai giustamente sottolineato aspetti molto importanti e lasciati dire anche che noi siamo profondamente
Thank you, Minister. You have said a lot of interesting things. And as Italy, we take pride in being able to support such an important process. We're also very proud of being pioneers in this reunification process. And we're very glad to be here today since an event such as today's can only bring about good. And so I will now give the floor to Minister Konakovic.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank my dear friend and colleague Antonio Tajani for organizing this event and for continued support to Western Balkans and enlargement story, which is really crucial for our region, for my country especially. I will start again showing the map of Europe and asking all of you to see the position of Western Balkans. We are not European backyard, we are heart of Europe. Actually, this part belongs to Europe. This is Europe already. And after 2 decades of silence on both sides, finally, we have some movements and some activities on both sides. Unfortunately, because of Russian aggression in Ukraine, EU woke up and actually European Union understood how important security issue also is, not only administrative, and Brussels' strict regulation regarding our enlargement story. So this is a new momentum for our countries and we need to use this opportunity. When we talk about politics in Bosnia and Herzegovina, we say we never missed an opportunity to miss an opportunity. Actually, that was our responsibility in Bosnia and Herzegovina, 2 decades doing nothing. But now we want to grab this chance, we want to grab this opportunity. And once more, I want to thank to Antonio, to a group of friends, to these 7 countries who are strongly supporting and advocating for Western Balkans countries. And I will tell you now several facts that actually shows how important the EU story for us is. Bosnia and Herzegovina is exporting 92% of our products to European Union. 70% goes directly to European Union member states, and 22 to our region, and all regional countries, as you can see, are candidate countries for the European Union. So economically, we cannot imagine or we cannot find any kind of substitution or replacement for European big and strong market. So integration of our market into big and strong European market is the only chance to develop Bosnian economy. We need to develop our economy because of the biggest problem that we have today, that's brain drain issue. In 2021, my country was #1 in the world, unfortunately, in a sense of losing a people. To 130,000 people. They get permissions by Eurostat. This is official statistics by Eurostat. They get permissions to work in European Union countries. So that's close to 4% of the population. We can keep them to stay in our country only if we provide some job opportunities, better salaries, and better life conditions. We can do that only integrating our market into big and strong European single market. And then we can have investments, investors, because of our geographical position, because of many advantages that my country has, like really skilled laborers, low costs of energy, and many other advantages geographically and politically. We have excellent relations on East and West. We consider ourselves like a country who is a kind of bridge between East and West, and we need European integration desperately, and we need to move, and we need to grab this chance. And I'm happy to share some new information that today there is a Council of Ministers session. We will adopt one more law from this famous 14 key priority agenda related to EU integrations. We adopted 7 already. We have 2 biggest budgets in the history of Bosnia. We agree about some really serious and important issues. And in Bosnia and Herzegovina, that's really not easy. I want to underline that we were fighting each other 25, 30 years ago. We had a bloody war there. We were literally shooting each other, and now we are sitting, all of us together, and trying to find some compromises, solutions, because of the future of our country. Today, Bosnia can be an example, seeing all these horrible pictures from many parts of the world, how things are possible, even that political is not, the political environment is not perfect in my country. It's much better to try to find solutions than to see those horrible pictures. So, regional market as a really, really important issue that we need to show also that we can cooperate, all of us together, and we need to show to Europeans that they don't have to be afraid with all 6 countries with the veto right inside of EU having historically misunderstandings almost every year. We need to show that we can cooperate, so these kinds of meetings are really welcome. And one more time, thank you for organizing this event, and I'm really happy to be here today in this beautiful city.
Grazie. Grazie Ministro. Hai ricordato giustamente
Thank you, Minister, for reminding us a very sad moment of the recent European history. Let me tell you that I do believe that for my generation, this has represented a black page. And when I see today, then everything has changed. I believe and I perceive it as a victory for democracy and for our country, as well as a victory for the entire Europe. I would like to give the floor to the Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs of Montenegro, Ervin Ibrahimovic, also Vice Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues, dear friends, I would like to thank our host, Minister Tajani, and the ISPI Institute for the excellent organization of the conference. 10 years after its inception, Med dialogues are becoming even more relevant. Challenges that the Mediterranean region is facing, with conflict in the Middle East and overall situation in MENA region, but also new security risks like hybrid threats, demand and continuous cooperation and dialogue. We are glad the discussions at this year's Med Dialogue reflect all pressing topics and relevant partners. Although issues we are discussing are not simple and cannot have one answer, dialogue has no alternative nor mutual understanding and respect. Montenegro understands that very well as a Mediterranean and multicultural country in the Western Balkans, which traditionally cherishes its differences as its particular value. That is why we are strong in favor of our region's full integration into the European Union, considering its strategic position as an answer to further complete security structure of the southern part of Europe, as well as the Mediterranean area. Only by successful enlargement on the European Union we can close the space for third parties to impose their own interests in the region. Those interests are not compatible with values of international order, which represent the only answer to challenges we are discussing today. In Montenegro, we thus see enlargement as a historical opportunity for acceding countries and for the EU itself. EU focus on the Western Balkan region is necessary to preserve a credible European perspective. By supporting the accession process of candidates, fostering fundamental reforms in areas like migration, fight against organized crime, terrorism, energy and economic sustainability, and final integration of Western Balkans countries in the EU based on individual merits. The EU will strengthen its own regional and global role. We are encouraged by messages we receive from the EU institutions and member states. I want to thank Minister Tajani and colleagues from the Friends of the Western Balkans group for their support. Montenegro, as the most advanced candidate, will do everything within its power to complete negotiations by 2026 in order to become the 28th member state in 2028, which is the most important strategic goal of the current Montenegrin government, along with cherishing good neighbourly relations and NATO membership. We have seen that Russian aggression in Ukraine has brought forward a new wave of security risks. Increased hybrid threats show the vulnerability of societies in Europe and wider, including in the Western Balkans region. One of the priorities of Montenegro is building resilience in countering hybrid threats, especially regarding disinformation in cybersecurity, critical services and infrastructure, as well as regarding energy security. Geopolitical factors, including the war against Ukraine and risk of disruption of energy supplies to Europe, as well as a conflict in the Middle East, have underscored the need for countries in the region to reduce dependency on external energy sources and explore alternative energy solutions. Economic and energy cooperation in the Western Balkans region can play a significant role for Mediterranean security. A more diversified energy supply, renewable energy initiatives, and interconnectors between Balkan countries, besides creating conditions for a faster sustainable growth, can reduce vulnerabilities and prevent external actors from using energy as leverage point on Mediterranean policies. Dear colleagues, let me conclude by reiterating that Montenegro will, as always, be ready for dialogue and cooperation with our Mediterranean partners on all these topics, in line with NATO and EU policies, in mutual interest. Thank you for attention.
Grazie Ministro, grazie per questi spunti così significativi che hanno disegnato lo scenario all'interno del Montenegro. La parola adesso all'Assistant Minister serbo Igor Kucelka. Prego.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Minister Tajani and the Italian Foreign Ministry and organizers the ISPI Institute to extending the invitation to us to participate in this event. And I'm really glad to share this podium with distinguished ministers from our neighboring countries. First of all, as other minister colleagues said, we are sharing also the same goals regarding the EU perspective, and Serbia has also an ambitious plan to try to fulfill all necessary technical obligation until the end of 2026, beginning of 2027, to be ready for EU membership. In that sense, and within this EU framework, I would like to give you some example how Serbia and our region are contributing to the peace, stability and security in our region, but also wider in Mediterranean region, Europe at whole, and also at global scene. I will tell you that, for example, Serbia is participating in several UN and EU peacekeeping operations, which are located in Africa, 2 in Somalia, 2 in Central African Republic, in Mozambique. Then in Lebanon, we have the biggest contingent of our military representatives, 180 of them, who've been recently under attack in Lebanon, in the south of Lebanon. And also we are participating in Cyprus and Middle East. Regarding the migration, for example, which is a really important issue and serious problem for Europe as a continent and for European Union, I can tell you that in June we signed a new agreement with Frontex, which will allow Frontex experts team to be allocated in our territory, and together with Serbia and our other European partners as Hungary, Austria and Slovakia to try to prevent the escalation of migrants coming in Europe. Then we are also participating in the economy field to the European security and safety. I will tell you that this year we are expecting about 4% of growth rate of our economy. We are an economy which attracts about more than 60% of all foreign direct investment coming in the region of Western Balkans, and we are realizing the big infrastructure projects we are preparing for Expo World Exhibition in 2027, and I would like to invite all Mediterranean countries and region countries and our friends to come in Belgrade in 2027. And just to mention that we are also doing a lot in energy sector, diversifying our energy sourcing, using the new gas interconnectors with Bulgaria, with big support of EU, and we are negotiating, try to realize the new gas interconnectors with our neighbors, Romania, Northern Macedonia, and we are open also for all other initiatives. I will stop here, maybe later I will just remark on some EU question. Thank you.
Grazie caro Igor. La parola alla Vice Ministra
Igor.
slovena.
The floor goes to Vice Prime Minister Gabric. Thank you.
I am very pleased. First of all, I would like to join the distinguished co-panelists in thanking Italy and Minister Tajani for bringing us together. I am here in the role of friend of the Western Balkans, and I would like to say in no uncertain terms that Slovenia is supporting the Western Balkans countries and has been supporting in their aspiration to join the European Union. We do this for different reasons. The first one is that we have our own experience that we did not forget. We still have institutional, we still have the historical memory. We remember how the accession process itself helped with the development, socio-political, economic development of Slovenia. So that's one thing. It really does, this accession process can really play as an important vehicle for improving societies and countries internally. Then the second set of reasons is that the accession processes can so importantly help with the regional cooperation. And here I would like to emphasize the role of the recently adopted growth plan for the Western Balkans. We fully support its implementation ASAP. This is not to say that there are no strings attached. There are strings attached. It is important that the governments in the region commit to the reforms that we agreed upon in order to develop through this growth plan, cooperation, and as also Minister Tajani was speaking about, the gradual integration into the internal market. This is very important. This is one facility, one tool that we have at our, let's say, common disposal to actually help with this gradual integration into the European internal market, but also to regionally connect countries in the region in terms of connectivity. If we talk about economic, we talk about transport, we talk about digital. Here I would like to mention a very good example of cooperation. In Montenegro, we will be opening this cybersecurity center within 2 weeks. It's a joint initiative of Montenegro, France, and Slovenia. So that is, of course, an important part of the connectivity in the region is now the digital and the cybersecurity aspect of it. And the third dimension I would like to emphasize why we should all also support also perhaps expedited, as also Minister Tajani was referring to, accession process is also the geostrategic reality. So the geostrategic reality is such that we would be amiss if we did not do our best to help the countries in the region come back or reunify, to make a reference to the minister, bring them to the European Union. So also from geostrategic point of view. Now, when we are talking, so one thing I want to the responsibility that this brings to us in terms of expediting the process. But here, let me also just emphasize that we are fully prepared to continuing to support the countries with our expertise. I mentioned that we still have some institutional memory of our accession process, and I think that that's something that we can also be helpful through to our friends in the Western Balkans. Are we running out of time?
Yep.
Or do you have a little bit more time to, that's it, okay. So I have 1 second left, so thank you. Thank you for your attention.
Grazie, grazie cara Vice Ministra, anche per il dono della sintesi,
Thank
perché
you,
abbiamo
Deputy
concluso
Minister,
il nostro
for being
panel
so
in tempi
brief.
previsti. Io
And the panel is over. I would like to thank all ministers for taking part in it. And so now is time for the final panel with the Italian Minister for Foreign Affairs Antonio Tajani and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni.